Hi everyone, Novak here. Quick Davinci Resolve Pro Tip, okay? So say you want to have a time lapse, and you don't want to mess around with any of that, like speeding up by 4,000%, 2,000%, and you just want a 5-minute long time lapse, okay? This is the easiest way to do it, no hassle. So you're gonna go in with Davinci Resolve. I have my footage of me drawing, okay? So what you're gonna do is this is essentially just 4-point editing, okay? That's the concept that we're using here. You're going to be able to just mark your endpoint with I. So when you input your footage to the timeline, it's going to start where you marked it in this viewer up here. Or you can click this button to mark the endpoint as well. And then you go to the end of your clip and mark the end with the mark out or tapping O on your keyboard. Then what you're going to do is go on your timeline and press I to mark an endpoint. And then if I want a 5-minute long time lapse, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in 500 for 5 minutes, and then the frame number. Like this timeline is 60 frames per second. So that means I could also type in a number anywhere between 0 and 59. So I'm just going to type in 0 because I want 2 zeros because I want to end on frame 0 of the 5 minutes. So then I tap O on the keyboard, and then what I do is where I was viewing my clip before, I drag it over into the timeline viewer window, and I just put fit to fill, and then just like that, the footage is automatically sped up. You can see it doing its thing. It's going really fast now as I do all my lines. And look at that, it ends perfectly at the 5-minute mark, as you can see there. Now let's say you have your big timeline, and that was easy because that was the first clip I was putting on this timeline. Now let's mix it up. Let's go ahead and put in this picture real fast. Let's say I already have my edit and I want to add the timeline now. So what I do is with my playhead where I want it to start, I hit I, and then I want to have a 2-minute time lapse. So from where the playhead is, I can just type in the plus 200, and then again the frame rate number of 00, and it'll advance the playhead by 2 minutes. So now if I hit O on the keyboard again, and so I've marked how long, I've marked 2 minutes. As you can see, it starts the picture added 5 seconds, so it's at the 5-minute 5-second mark. Then we add 2, which should give us 7 minutes. And what? Hang on. I might not have typed in enough zeros. Let's see. Plus 20000. Oh, yeah, I didn't type in enough zeros. Okay, so there we go. Now that should do it. And yep, there we are. We're at the 7-minute mark. So there is our 2-minute gap, and then we'll go back over here and we'll get some footage. Here's Davinci. Now in the viewer over here, I'm gonna make sure I add an endpoint, and then I'm gonna make sure to add an out point, and then I'm gonna drag it over, fit to fill, boom, and now I have a 2-minute time lapse of the footage added after I already edited previously edited footage on my timeline. So that's it. It's really simple. You just open the footage you want to add in the top viewer, mark your in and out points, then you go on your timeline and mark your in point, and then type in the end point, or you can do a plus sign and how long you want the footage to be, and then you mark it their out point on the playhead, and then you drag over and do fit to fill. Very simple. And the keyboard shortcut as well. So if you want to do like this, let's do one more. We'll make it in and out. If you want to use a keyboard shortcut instead of dragging over every time, you can do Shift F11, and that will do fit to fill with the keyboard shortcut. And let's say you marked your I and O's and you decide you don't want them anymore because you decide that you want to change something or you don't want a time lapse in there anymore, but now you have this randomly selected clip part of your timeline. All you need to do is hold Alt and then tap I and then Alt and tap O, and that will delete the points on your timeline. So Alt I removes the endpoint and Alt O removes the out point. So that's that very simple and fast way to get time-lapse footage the way you want it without messing with all the 2000%, 100%. So it's that simple. Hope you learned something. Have an excellent day. See you next time. Novak, over and out.